When you rename a column in Power Query, look at the formula bar. You will see something like this. Old name followed by a new name. Two values, always together, always in that order. That is no coincidence. Several table functions use this format. A column name paired with an instruction, like rename this column to that, change this column to that type, or transform this column with that function. To build those pairs dynamically, the M language has a function whose entire job it is to create that specific structure. It is called List.Zip. You will not find it in the user interface. There's no button for it, and it's not tucked away somewhere in the menu. To use it, you will need to know it exists and be comfortable enough to write that expression yourself. In this video, we'll focus on what it does, what to look out for so you don't get caught off guard by what it returns. Later episodes will go further, more advanced patterns, more complex use cases. If you don't want to miss out on those, subscribe to the channel so you'll be notified when new content goes up. But first, let's understand the function itself. Before List.Zip makes sense, you need to know a few basics about lists in the M language. A list is initialized with a set of curly brackets. A list is an ordered sequence of values, and a list can contain values of any type. Here's a list with 5 items. The order in which the values appear is fixed. That matters because List.Zip works by position. So the item order is what this function relies on. And a list can contain values of any kind. This list contains a text, a number, another list, and a record. That matters most for what we're about to discover, because a list can contain other lists. List.Zip takes a list of lists as an input and returns a list of lists as an output. Here's how it works. Imagine you have two lists. List A contains letters. List B contains numbers. List.Zip looks at the first position in every list you gave it and collects those values into a new list. Then it moves to the second position and does the same thing. It keeps going until it runs out of positions to process. The result is a list of lists. You can think of the outer list as a container, a way to ship multiple instructions in a single value. Each inner list is one set of paired values, one item from each input list in the order they were provided. So one value from list A, paired with one item from list B in that specific order. You can pass any number of lists to the List.Zip function, 2, 3, 4, whatever you require. A common mistake is to pass those lists as separate arguments, instead of wrapping them in a container list. The error message will tell you more arguments were provided than it expected. A quick fix is to select all your input lists, so make sure that they are highlighted and enter an opening curly bracket. In most cases, a closing curly bracket is automatically inserted at the end. Now you're passing a single list, which is what this function expects. This one is worth paying attention to. What if the lists you pass don't have the same number of items? Well, it won't raise an error, and it won't stop processing when it runs out of items from the shortest list. Instead, it fills missing positions with a null. A null represents the absence of a value. So at position 4, where list C has nothing to contribute, you will find a null. At position 5, where both list A and list C have run out, you will get 2 nulls, one on either side of the final value from list B. That's important because table functions that use these pairs, such as Table.RenameColumns, Table.TransformColumnTypes, or Table.TransformColumns don't expect nulls. When they encounter one, they will break. When you rename columns dynamically, the pattern looks like this. You use List.Zip to pair old column names with new ones and then pass its result to the Table.RenameColumns function. If a null ends up in any pair, the error message will say, "We expected a RenameOperations value." It doesn't tell you a null caused the problem. It doesn't tell you which pair is affected. It tells you the value it received was not what it expected. If your syntax looks okay, copy the List.Zip expression into a separate step so you can inspect its output. Start from the bottom and work your way backwards to the top. Find which position or which positions contain a null, so you can trace it back to the list that caused the problem and fix it. When you set column types dynamically, the pattern is similar. A list of column names, a list of types, zipped together. If a null appears, the error message will say, "We cannot convert the value null to type something." That is more informative, because the type it names tells you which side of the pair is missing. If that's a type text, it indicates a missing column name. If it's a type, it indicates a missing type value. You still can't tell which pair is affected from the error alone, but you know which list to investigate in order to fix it. Transforming columns is slightly different. The operations list can take two shapes: a column name and a transform function, or a column name, a transform function, and a new column type. That means you can pass 2 or 3 lists to the List.Zip function. More lists, more combinations where a null could appear. If a null turns up, the error follows the same pattern we saw a moment ago. We cannot convert the value to type something. A type text means a missing column name. Type function, a missing transform function, and type, a missing type value. Same troubleshooting process. The error tells you which side, isolated in a separate step to determine where and resolve it. That's it. List.Zip isn't complicated, but it makes all the difference if you understand the mechanism, position-based pairing. It doesn't check if values make sense together. It doesn't validate that lists have the same number of items. It just zips. If this was useful, a like is a great way to let me know. And if you have a question about the List.Zip function or a use case you're trying to figure out, leave it in the comments. I read them. Thank you for watching. Till next time.